Everyone, welcome back. Today I want to share a very special story. My story of meeting Jacqueline Woodson. It actually began in 2020 when I started my PhD. At that time, I was working on African American children's literature, and I found myself deeply drawn to her picture books, the emotional depth, the quiet strength, the way she writes about identity, memory, and belonging. One day I decided to be brave. I sent her an email. I didn't know if she would respond. She's an internationally respected author, busy, celebrated, but she replied like directly, personally, and that moment meant more than I can describe. From that day on, we began exchanging emails. She was genuinely curious about my work. She even asked me, "How are you studying this from Turkey?" She was surprised in a good way. The idea that someone from Turkey was working on her picture books, writing academically about Black childhood and identity, about silence and voice, it intrigued her. And that made me feel seen as a scholar. Later, I received a TÜBİTAK scholarship, which allowed me to go to the United States. I became a visiting scholar in New York, at New York University. Before I arrived, I wrote to her again and told her I would be in the city. She told me there was going to be a book event, a presentation of her book. Of course, I went. I remember standing there in the audience, excited and slightly nervous. And when she saw me, she recognized me easily. Out of everyone there, she looked at me and knew who I was. That moment made me incredibly happy. After that event, we exchanged phone numbers. Weeks later, we met again, this time in Brooklyn at a small breakfast restaurant. We had a breakfast together. We talked for hours. I had prepared many questions about her writing process, about memory, about silence in her narratives, about childhood, about voice. She answered them generously. We also talked about my dissertation. She listened carefully. She encouraged me. It didn't feel distant or formal. It felt human. Before we left, she gave me a small gift, a water bottle and a tote bag that said New York. It may sound simple, but for me, they become deeply meaningful. I still use them very happily. Every time I see them, I remember that moment, that conversation, that encouragement, and I wanted to bring something for her too. So I gave her an orchid. I don't know why I choose an orchid. Maybe because they are delicate but strong at the same time. Recently, she sent me a photo. The orchid was sitting by her window, and she wrote, "It's still alive." That message made me smile so much because somehow it felt symbolic. Academic relations are often formal, structured, distant, but this was warm, genuine, lasting. A writer whose books I studied sending me a picture of a living orchid years later. It reminds me that scholarship is not only about analysis, it's about connection. And some connections stay alive, just like that orchid. Thank you so much for listening. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.